Hello, guys. Can you hear us? So we're going live. Let's see if the community can hear us loud and clear. We'll probably see this in the comments. Okay, so it seems everything is working as expected. Yeah, a lot of comments are popping in. Hello, really great to have this town hall meeting today, and we're testing a new setup with different things. So it's great if we can get some feedback that everything is working and so forth. I'm here, of course, with Lucian.
Hi, guys.
And we'll probably wait just 30 seconds before diving into the conversation today. We have a few really, really awesome points that you've probably seen during the last few days. And it's going to be great to cover them and discuss a few of the really exciting steps for Elrond. So yeah, let's just wait a few minutes. I see that a lot of people are joining. Welcome, guys. A lot of comments are popping up. Awesome. I think we have a good number now. It's good to start. So hello again. Really great to have this conversation. A lot has happened since our last discussion, and today we'll cover specifically 2 points: where we are with the Mire exchange and where we are with the Mire Launchpad. And we'll cover some of the key insights behind this, why they matter a lot, why they change everything, not only for the Elrond ecosystem, but also for the broader ecosystem. And then some of the important things that the Elrond community should consider as they look at these two projects. And then also some exciting next steps for the future. So the first point I would add is that, as you probably know, we've been pushing insanely to reach this point where the Mire DEX is finally ready and the Launchpad is also ready. I cannot underscore enough how much effort has gone into these two products from the entire team. It's not only the process of designing the products and then refining it constantly in order to reach a point where things work extremely well, but then going through a process and testing it, stress testing it, auditing it, and doing this each new week with each new design until we see that everything is stable and we're finally ready to move forward. So big thank you and big kudos to the entire team and the entire community, which have been with us throughout the process this whole time. A lot of sleepless nights, productive nights have gone into this, and we're now finally at the point where the exchange is ready. I want to underscore 2-3 points about the exchange, why this is extremely valuable and extremely important for the Elrond ecosystem. And after this point, we'll go and dive a bit into the economics, the supply, the emission schedule, and how the next weeks and months are looking for the Mire DEX. And then we'll follow up with the Launchpad. The most important element probably since the launch of the Elrond mainnet, as you've seen, has been the Mire app, because it has brought a tremendous number of users that have existed in different ecosystems and then could join Elrond in a much simpler way. And In the same way, we've seen that after the launch of the Meyer app, in 1 week, we've exceeded more than half of a year of utility, of processing, and adoption. We strongly believe that with the Meyer Dex, as we go live, we'll probably see 10x, 20x, or even 50x of utility, processing capacity, demand, and adoption on the different verticals that we're measuring. This is why a lot of the things we're looking at and measuring will be measured before the Meyer Dex and after the Meyer Dex. Whatever we have right now as something like 50 or 100,000 transactions per 100,000 transactions per day will probably go to millions or tens of millions per day just because of the Meyer Dex. This is one element. And then, of course, validators will have a lot more, let's say, work to process. Then APIs and the entire infrastructure will have a lot more work to process. All the tools that we've prepared will be put to a different level of stress testing. This is why we've put a lot of efforts on each and every step to make sure that not only the Meyer Dex is ready, but also the different tools like the wallet, like the DeFi wallet, like the Meyer app, Explorer, and so forth. So it's great to have all the tools ready for the launch, and it's extremely, extremely important that we launch this and are aware of the consequences and some of the effects that we will see. Now, beyond this point, I think the most important element of adoption that we will see in the ecosystem will also be the Meyer Dex. Not only because it enables liquidity for a lot of users and for a lot of projects that are coming into the Elrond ecosystem, but because it puts out a liquidity mining incentive that is larger than any other incentive put out in the DeFi space. Just for your reference, the entire program for the first year will put out more than $1.29 billion in max to be mined by the entire community and the different liquidity providers on the Meyer Dex. This is extremely, extremely interesting and extremely powerful. And the entire sum is more than $280 million in max for the first month. This also speaks to the number of users we will see come in, the number of investors, the number of whales, the number of applications and different builders that will build different applications for us to use. And so the entire ecosystem with this launch will go to the next level. Adoption is one element, as I said. The other element is usage. And then, of course, the demand and supply of the e-gold currency, but also the MEX token, are specifically designed in a way to reinforce each other and to set in motion an unparalleled growth phase that we will see. This is extremely important for the Elrond ecosystem, and it's extremely important for the Elrond community because this is the opportunity you have to be part of the ecosystem in a meaningful way, to be part of this new exchange that we've built and that we demonstrate for the first time on a state-sharded architecture. The technology behind it is extremely interesting, and it validates and stress tests this, provides a new stress test for the entire Elrond network and tooling, but it also opens a new door for experimentation. And so if you're part of the ecosystem, be sure to be part of the MyRDEX. As you know, one of the key elements that we've also touched on is the fact that instead of doing a raise for the MyRDEX, we chose to open it completely to full community ownership and full community distribution. This is something unique and something that aligns the interests and opens up this new wave of Web3 adoption, where instead of just focusing on sole ownership by different companies, we focus on opening the entire architecture, the entire exchange, the entire adoption vector that we have in front of us to ownership to the entire Elrond community. This is something unique and extremely powerful. And it's always useful to think about these elements, not as in terms of short time frames, because a lot of things change during the short time frames we have in front of us. But if you zoom out and look at things over the next year, over the next few years, you will probably be able to look at the MyRDEX as like a similar experiment that you've seen with the Elrond network. A lot of things will change. There's a lot of experimentation and a lot to push even beyond the launch. But the fact that this exchange launches, the fact that it will exceed probably several $billion in not only total value locked, but market cap, is something that is quite clear if you look at the adoption parts. The fact that the community can be part of this, can own part of it, can contribute, because they if you own part of it, you want to contribute in several different ways, either by building tooling or by being part of the community and providing feedback, providing liquidity and other elements. I think this is something unique and special to the community, and we're tremendously excited to be able to push this out with the entire team and have the community on board. As you've seen yesterday, we've opened the first pool, eGold Max pool, and we've seen already a tremendous growth on that front, where a lot of people have just started to put in the liquidity. It's still early. Things have not fully are not fully live yet for the rewards part, and so some people are probably still thinking on things, but it's an important moment and one we're tremendously excited to share with the Elrond community. What I'll invite Lucian to go over a bit is maybe the max supply. Currently, the max supply after the first month, and then some of the key ideas that the community would probably do very well to know in terms of what should be optimized. If there's one or two elements that are the most important and people should think about, what those are. And yeah, please, Lucian.
Hi, guys. First of all, we'll also take questions at the end. So please, the comments is open. I see a lot of comments, funny ones. Hopefully, there will be also some questions that we'll try to answer at the end. So feel free to put a question there, and we'll try to answer as many as possible. Coming back to the MyRDEX and the Max token, and regarding the supply, you've seen we've done a small change, I think last week, where basically we increased the supply by 1,000 x. This doesn't affect the value of the mathematics. It's just that we consider this to give ownership to more max to the user and make things more interesting. Regarding the max economics or distribution of the first year, and especially on the bootstrapping period, that is the first few weeks, there are a few things that I would like to stress. right now, there is no all Eagle holders that had Eagle at staking during April and July. They can claim their tokens. This is still open, and I think until today, more than 90% or something like that were already claimed by the user. These are locked max that can be used for staking. The only difference between the locked max and, let's say, the normal max or unlocked max is that those locked max cannot be swapped or sold right now. But the interesting part is that those locked max can be used to provide liquidity. They can be used to stake or farm more max or even more locked max. Having said that, the idea is that right now, when we start the Maiar DEX, there will be like somewhere around 500 billion locked max. But during the first 4 weeks, they will come into circulation more than around 1.5, 1.4 trillion max. This tells us that those that will become liquidity provider, they will stake their locked max. They will be part of one of the uh, biggest distribution in the DeFi space, because in just one month at the current price that we announced, there will be around $300 million that will be distributed in just 4 weeks to everyone that is part of the Max ecosystem and Maiar DEX. And of course, if we look on a longer period of time, the first year, we see that also after this bootstrapping period, there will be even more, like 5 trillion more max that will come into circulation. So things will still be interesting after that. And of course, the reasons to start with let's say, more aggressive rewards is to put those incentives there, so that the liquidity is growing. And total value locked is a very important part, because let's not forget that the most important part of the DEX is the swapping part. This is actually the reason for a DEX to exist, is for people to be able to swap their tokens in a pair very fast, very cheap in a decentralized way. And for that, you need in a very big value locked there, so that the slippage and everything is low. So on this part, I believe we already published the economics part, and I strongly advise everyone to look this and to understand how the rewards and the max rewards in the first week, second week, and then for the entire week, the entire year, how this will change. Because definitely there are a lot of strategies that everyone could work with. Definitely. For us, what is important is to be a part of this ecosystem, and of course to get those rewards that are there.
Awesome. As Lucian mentioned, I think if we simplify things here, there are, with any new tool, many things you want to validate in practice. There are always also risks involved, but one can minimize risks and think hard about them by different things that we've already tried to do. The fact that we put a lot of focus on stress testing things, on making sure that they are fully audited on every level that we've built, that we spread the word in the community, put it out for several times just to stress test it with the community to validate that everything is in place. This speaks to how much we see there's tremendous value, not only in building the product, but making sure that the foundation of the product can withstand growth without breaking. Of course, we have several partners with which we've collaborated on the security side, and some of these partners are of course the guys at Runtime Verification. Will probably share some notes about this during the next few days. but we've had a very close discussion and peer review and so forth with them throughout the building process. We've had several other audits at the same time, and we're now at the point where we've prepared things quite a bit to make sure that they're very solid to begin with. The most important element beyond understanding the risk is making sure that you are part of it, making sure that you have at least some exposure to the max token, that you test and provide some liquidity. As you know, there are at first three pools. There's the max pool, there's the eGold USDC pool, and there's the eGold max pool. Of course, the max pool is the, let's say, exciting one, but the least exciting of the three. It's clear, and for some people, it will be interesting to just provide max there for staking and just contribute in that way. This is also good if you're more, let's say, risk averse and so forth, want something pretty clear and straightforward. This is the least risk with the highest reward. If you're more adventurous a bit, then and you maybe have more funds and so forth, you probably want to contribute to the eGold USDC pair as well, just because it contributes to the liquidity that exists. It enables other people to exchange their eGold or their USDC, enter and exit in some ways. You'll also be quite significantly rewarded. But if I were to boil down everything to only one strategy, one simple one, it would be locking the stake for the double APR for more than 1 year. Because of course things are exciting in the short term, and we're super excited to finally be able to unveil this. But if you zoom out, if you can think about what will happen in 1 year, then you're already switching the mindset. Instead of thinking, how do I optimize for the next week, for the next few days, and so forth, you're think, I'm in. Now, if I'm in, how can I contribute? How can I build some more interesting tools? How can I create some useful material for the community or for the people around me? How can I bring other projects on top of the MyRDEX? And it is this type of mindset in combination with the rewards, in combination with the locking of the stake, that will probably create something unparalleled in the DeFi space. So we're super excited about all of this and quite focused on the next steps now. And if I'm to go to the next steps, we basically have the next pair, which will be USDC and eGold, that will be released. That will happen on Thursday normally, and at that point, this pair will probably already be live.
Tomorrow.
Right?
That's tomorrow. Thursday is tomorrow.
Exactly. And then on Friday, of course, we'll have the max EGLD part, which will open the rewards. So at that point, swaps will become live, rewards will start to flow in, and of course, a lot of fireworks will probably be seen in the Elrond community and probably also DeFi space. So this is the focus. I think you wanted to add something.
Not. I mean, I see a lot of questions there, but maybe we'll take them at the end. So we can continue. Maybe just to add that since tomorrow the EGLD USDC pair is going live. Also, the bridge from Ethereum to Elrond and from Elrond to Ethereum will go live, so that before actually opening the pair, you could exchange or change your USDC ERC20 to USDC USDT on Elrond blockchain, so that anyone that wants to participate and provide liquidity on that pair, they can do that. But this is for tomorrow. One thing that is different with the EGLD USDC pair is that once the pair goes live, also the swaps for this pair also will go live. The reason for this is because EGLD is already listed in a lot of exchanges, and because the price is moving on all those exchanges, we don't want to lock the initial price for a longer period of time, as we did for EGLD Max, where Max is not listed anywhere else. We will enable those swap once this pair goes live. And of course, on Friday, so 2 days from now, once we also enable swaps for EGLD Max, all the rewards on the farms also will be enabled.
Awesome. So as a summary, I think it's already clear how much we've just poured the entire energy and effort into building the Maiar DEX. This is a monster. I mean, from the complexity standpoint, we've literally taken everything we've built at Elrond and have had to align the elements and sync them and make sure that everything is ready for the Maiar DEX launch. So we're tremendously excited, but we also believe that with the Maiar DEX launch, everything will change for the ecosystem. It's a great time to join the Elrond ecosystem, and also a great time to start experimenting with the Maiar DEX, start playing with it. As Lucian mentioned, the idea with the Maiar DEX is to see it as a portal. On top of this, we'll have hundreds of projects that will be able to get liquidity, to be part of the ecosystem, and that the community will be able to interact with. So this is a very, very exciting step. And for the strategy, of course, there are many strategies and everyone is free to experiment. But if there's one element that the Elrond community will very likely focus on, is building the value over the long term. This is where the value compounds, not only literally, but also metaphorically. So we'll see many of the elements that are unforeseen in the space on the liquidity part, but also on the growth part with the new features that we will slowly release. At first, everything is focused on having the first version live, making sure that everything is in place and the liquidity is enough to be able to enable larger investors and people in the community from all over the world to just provide liquidity and be very helpful to the Maiar DEX ecosystem. What will happen after the launch? As you'll see, we'll have new pairs that will come live. We'll have new features that will come live. We'll have a lot of other discussions that we will follow up on. But at this point, all eyes are focused on the Maiar DEX launch and getting some max. If you've not been part of the Elrond ecosystem and the max ecosystem yet, of course, you want to grab some max and be part of this program that is launching right now. In 1 year or in 2 years, you'll probably look at the Maiar DEX launch in a very similar way to how we look at the Elrond launch. A lot of effort, a lot of value. And the great part is that it's very, very well tied together to the Elrond ecosystem, to the Elrond value, and a lot of the things that will come to the ecosystem will be through the Maiar DEX. So take a close look at the materials. We'll continue sharing some of the guides and materials there. Feel free to experiment. Be very mindful that there are always risks, even if we've put in all the efforts in the world to make sure things are secure. but there are also unique and very valuable opportunities. And this is one of them. And it will be very good for the community and for you guys to think about it hard. I know we've seen a lot of excitement on Twitter, a lot of very helpful community members that have put in entire guides and videos and so forth. Be sure you do your homework and be part of the ecosystem, because now is the time for this. I'll jump to the second point that we'll discuss today, and then, as Lucian mentioned, we'll probably take some questions from the community and we'll try to go over them much faster. The second point is, of course, the Meyer Launchpad. Again, the Meyer Launchpad is a product that is very unique to the Elrond ecosystem. Why is it unique? Because in the Elrond ecosystem, we always celebrate builders. Builders will always have the highest status and respect in this community, because through builders we can discover the world, we can invent new things, we can experiment different things that we never would have the opportunity to without building them. And so everyone that builds cool things is very welcome in Elrond. And we'd love to see in this next phase some of the builders shine. Now, the idea with the Meyer Launchpad has been not only to create one of the most compelling springboards for builders around the world, but to give them the access to the Elrond community and then help convey and tell their story to the world. Because in many ways, builders are putting a lot of effort in the things they are building, and communicating what you're building is super hard and challenging oftentimes. And so since Elrond has such a hardcore and helpful and resourceful community, it's very important that some of the people that are building the coolest things in the space come to the Elrond community, can share their project, can get some funding, can get the community on board, and through this process can spread some of the ownership to the community. Again, in this Web3 world, you'll probably want to own parts of the internet, parts of the different businesses that you're seeing and you're enjoying, parts of the different businesses that you see have a lot of potential. And this is what the Launchpad gives us access to. The smartest and most ambitious builders will come on the Launchpad to be part of the Elrond community. Why HoloRide? Well, the entire discussion with HoloRide has been going on for months now. We've been through Germany, had a lot of discussions, have gone back and forth with many feedback points and so forth. But we were also very pleasantly surprised by the resourcefulness and by the care that they put in the different things that they've built up until this point. The metaverse is, of course, at an inflection point in itself, and the excitement that we've seen even outside the blockchain space, with Facebook becoming Meta and some of the other companies just announcing this stuff, signals a very significant shift that is happening in the technology space. So the fact that HoloRide is starting on Elrond is extremely important, and we're very excited about this. And we're even more excited about the fact that the Elrond community, after so much work and filtering and effort, can participate in this. Of course, again, here there are many risks, and everyone should be mindful of the different things. But the good part is that there's a place for all the investors. Even the smallest investors can get a a piece of Holoride, the larger investors or people in the community can get a larger piece. And then once Holoride as a sale is concluded, of course, Holoride um, at a point will also come on the Meyer DEX. So it's only not only exciting, but extremely exciting that the Meyer Launchpad and the Meyer DEX come together so that the Elrond community, again, can be part of the ecosystem, can explore the Meyer DEX, but then through the Meyer DEX can explore all these projects. What maybe I'll invite Lucian is, again, just to go a bit through the steps that we currently have in front of us for the Meyer Launchpad with Holoride, just for people to understand the most important elements for the sale, what they should be focusing on, what the process is, and then we'll probably outline this a bit.
Sure, sure. So we started in 4th of November. We opened the creating the accounts and passing the KYC. I know that there are a lot of people asking questions regarding the KYC. What I can say is that the KYC comes from the project, and definitely there are some regulations, some legal implications, and some legal limitations that the project needs to obey, and that's why we need to do they need to do the KYC, and there are some limitations there in terms of what countries, what documents are allowed, or stuff like that. Right now, as mentioned, we started 13 days ago, 2 weeks ago. This first phase is still open until 22 of November. On 22 of November, we will close the KYC part. And everyone that passed the KYC will become eligible to be part of the Holoride Launchpad. And at the same time, also on 22 of November, those people that have their KYC verified and accepted by the project, if you did that already, once you create an account on Meyer Launchpad, this account is basically tied to your Elrond address. So on 22 of November, we will do a snapshot. Basically, we'll look on all those addresses for the people with the verified KYC to see how much e-gold they have at the staking or delegation. Only these amounts will be taken into consideration. E-gold that is not stake or delegated will not be taken into consideration. Now, why is this important? Is because based on this amount of e-gold that that person has there, you'll be you'll go to a specific tier. There are like 5 tiers right now. And based on the tier that you'll be eligible, you'll be able on 24 of November, based on the tier that you'll based on that tier, you'll be able to actually buy a specific number, maximum actually number of no loss lottery tickets. And I'll explain a little bit what's the meaning of the no loss lottery. So on 24, you'll be able to actually buy those lottery tickets. That ticket in USD value will be $200, 200 US dollars, but the price will be paid in e-gold. And one day before, or just before being able to buy, we lock the price depending on what's the at that time what's the price of the e-gold. We lock the price in e-gold. Once you let me come back to the no loss lottery part. What it means is in 25 of November, there will be selected 10,000 lottery tickets that will be considered winning tickets. All those winning tickets will receive 5,000 right tokens. All non-winning tickets, so those that are not didn't won, they will be able to claim back their e-gold one-to-one. So basically, those that didn't won, they will just get back their e-gold. Those that have winning tickets, they will get ride instead of the e-gold they provided. So and also on 25, and this is a change that probably we need to update the website. Initially, we announced that on 26 you'll be able to claim your ride or your e-gold for non-winning tickets. It looks like that it will be everything. The announcement of the winning tickets and the claiming will be done in the same day on 25 of November. This is briefly the timeline. There is still time. Maybe one other thing to mention is, in order to be able to buy those tickets, you'll need to have also e-gold that is not staked or delegated. So make your calculation right now, and there is no longer time to unstake if you don't have e-gold to buy. But do your math and be prepared.
A bit about the Mara Launchpad, the entire process, and the fact that for the Mara Launchpad, what you need to know, or what's very good to understand, is that in order to be eligible, you need to have e-gold staked. This is step one. Based on those e-gold stake, you'll receive some tickets that you can claim. And then the most important element is to understand that in addition to the e-gold you have staked, you also need some e-gold to really buy the tickets. And so it's important to do the calculation, either to have e-gold staked and then have some e-gold free, or just keep the e-gold you have staked and get some e-gold to be able to participate in the launchpad and so forth.
I see a question here. Do we have to pay those e-gold per ticket, or do we have to commit some e-gold? Basically, you need to commit and actually transfer the price in EGLD for that ticket, because this is the way. The intention is not just an intention, it's an intention that is backed up by actual e-gold. So yeah, you'll need to have them and you'll need to use them. As mentioned, since it's a no-loss lottery, if you're not winning in second day, so just for one day, you are locking those e-gold, you'll get them back. If you have a winning ticket, you'll get ride tokens back.
Yep. So again, the summary would be on the Mile Launchpad. We're at a very important point with this new product that's coming in. The whole ride project is a very special project that we've been in conversation with for a long time. The product is extremely exciting. We've had some demos, of course, in Germany, and this was quite interesting to see. And the next most important things are to look and do your homework, to look at the website, look at the documents. If you're a builder, join them in some way. Come and offer some feedback. Be part of their community as well, because they're now part of the Elrond community, and we're very excited about them joining and quite curious to see the next steps, because the launchpad part is a first step. It's a huge step forward, of course. Being part of the Elrond community is huge, and being able to share this with the entire community is great. But then there are even more steps, and each step of the way you just want to make more progress and get closer to the product that you really want to deliver. You already know the schedule. You already know what's useful for the launchpad, as Lucian mentioned. E-gold staked, and then have some more e-gold that you can lock for the tickets, and then be able to use that money, of course, to buy the tickets. If you don't win the tickets, then the money you receive back. So it's a great option as well. To sum up, there are 2 points. November will be pretty stressed, challenging, and tremendously exciting month for the Elrond ecosystem, because in this month, we'll probably already see the next level for the entire ecosystem, the way things will be, and so forth. So be part of the Mardex. We appreciate your feedback very much. If you're a builder, do ping us with the different products or different tools that you're building for the Mardex. There will be some grants for people that build stuff, for people that are super useful for the Max ecosystem as well. And then if you know of other very ambitious projects, do let us know. We'd love to always hear your feedback, and make sure you're ready for the next period and are part of the ecosystem. I think these were the most important points that we wanted to share. And as we move forward, we'll probably take some of the most relevant questions from the community, go over them, and try to clarify this as much as possible. See if there are some open questions.
I'll start with the first one I see here regarding how the max supply is calculated on the homepage, because there might be some confusion here. As you know, we said that there is like almost 600 billion locked max that can be claimed. These are not considered right now automatically in the total supply that we put on the homepage. Only those locked max that are used, and used means put it at staking or providing liquidity. These are taken into consideration on the homepage. Also on the homepage for the initial supply, we also took into consideration for, let's say, max pool that we created for different purposes. There is the developer grants, that there is the security fund, the initial liquidity, and the ecosystem growth. These are a max that was already put aside for these specific purposes, and those are already taken into consideration on the homepage. Those locked max that will start to be used, they will automatically every 5 minutes, I think it's updated. They will once they start to be used, they will appear there.
Okay. Will there be any wrapped BTC and wrapped ETH? Yes, certainly. So the idea of a wrap token is just that you can finally use a token you have on a different chain in this new DeFi module. So it's why we're opening the bridge, and through the bridge, we'll probably see many different tokens from other ecosystems that will finally be able to leverage the technology, the performance, the inexpensiveness that we have on Elrond. It's absolutely painful to see how large the costs are. For instance, in comparison to Ethereum. I mean, how large the costs are on Ethereum in comparison to Elrond. Even for the bridge now, we're having some discussions, and it's surprising how much pain people take because they love some product, and they want to build on them, and so forth. So complementary to what exists in Ethereum, I believe we'll see many ecosystems like the Elrond ecosystem. And we'll probably see the Elrond ecosystem explode just because of this new DeFi wave. Moving to the next questions, can we see an official NFT marketplace on Elrond? 100%. This is already in the works, and once the Mardex is live and once the Mar Launchpad is live, of course, NFTs will follow. When and how, let's see this, but we've been working on something extremely exciting, even beyond the Mardex and the Mar Launchpad, for a few months now. So we'll definitely have something very special. But coming to NFTs only for 1 second, I think we're quite surprised by how many people have already built tools around NFTs on Elrond. And I'm always excited to see when someone puts the effort in, even without discussing with us at all, and they show resourcefulness, show determination, and then come and launch a full product. So big respect for some of the projects that are doing this, some of the teams that are doing this. Let's make sure that they're not scammers. So among this, there are also always people that are just here to scam a few other people. Let's always be super careful with those. But yeah, big respect for the people that are building something.
Let's see, is there a plan to connect Meyer app with Meyer Exchange? So theoretically, Meyer app is already, you can connect to Meyer Exchange through the Meyer app. I think the question is if the Meyer DEX will be inside the app as, let's say, mobile, in the mobile app. We are definitely looking into this. For now, the Meyer Exchange on the web and connecting through 4 different options: Ledger, Web Wallet, Meyer app, and Meyer extension, Meyer DeFi wallet extension are very good options. We'll definitely look into it, and I don't see a reason maybe in the future to have the exchange natively integrated in the Meyer app.
Great. And then the next question is, how can the community list a new ESDT token on the Meyer DEX? The idea is, as we launch the Meyer DEX, we'll probably post an article that lists the process, whereby the community will be able to submit a new token. The community will be able to vote on the different elements, give them a pool, and so forth. So there's an entire process. We'll post the process, and then together we will be able to go over it. But the good part is that there will be really good ways of doing that. Moving forward, would there be a hidden future benefit to hold as much max as possible? I think there are 100 reasons to hold max. You can look at it in many ways. Longer term, max is essentially the token of the Meyer DEX. If you want a part of the Meyer DEX, that's your way of achieving it. To the extent that the Meyer DEX will have liquidity, will work as expected, will list new tokens, will process transactions, the max token will grant you access to fees, will grant you access to this utility, and you'll always be able to farm more liquidity, more rewards for the things you bring. There will be new projects that are listed, new features that will come live, and which with each new of this new utility, you'll be even happier that at the beginning you put the max in locked for double APR.
I would say this is like an open secret, it's, we are all here. You can be part of the Meyer DEX, and since it's a community owned project where there was a fair distribution to all the Eagle holders that now are also MEC holders, and of course others will be able to be part of that. I would say there is a, let's say, a hidden reason, like an open secret. Everyone is public. You just need to open your eyes.
Moving to the next question, tell us more about TwistPay. We can only share a few things about TwistPay. The fact that you've probably read, it's the first e-money license issued in Romania, which is quite a big deal. It's a company that is directly regulated by the central bank in Romania, which is again quite a big deal. Any conversation that we had and have around TwistPay is, of course, a conversation that is involving the central bank in some manner. And if things work as planned and as expected, TwistPay will play a key role in the idea that we have, which is pretty clear: building a high bandwidth, low latency, transparent financial system and giving access to anyone, anywhere to this financial system. How specifically we will use and collaborate with TwistPay is something that we'll discuss immediately after we finalize the discussions with the central bank. Of course, we've had repeated discussions with them. Quite surprised by the openness and good conversations that we've had. And what I would say is that we're treating this very carefully to be able to make sure that the conclusion is positive. So more on this once it's done.
I will add just one small note here. As a TwistPay, as a principal member of Visa and a principal member of MasterCard, of course, once this is a done deal, that hopefully will happen pretty soon, will open a lot of opportunities in a lot of directions. Just because I see a lot of questions regarding when Meyer card or other stuff like that, this might be a part of the answer.
Yeah, great. And then moving to the next question: when is the Meyer DeFi wallet coming live on the mainnet? Just before this conversation, we've actually had another sync with the entire DEX team. And by the DEX team, we actually had the entire conversation with a lot of other teams as well. Like, for instance, the Meyer DeFi wallet team. And we're quite happy that today we'll probably start testing the final version that is coming out internally first for a few hours, then with the community admins and so forth. And then as soon as we have a version that's stable, either this evening or early in the morning, we'll submit the final mainnet version that will come live. So quite happy to see this coming live probably before the launch on Friday. Okay, and then moving to the next one: when can we use the hero tags ecosystem wide and not just Meyer? This is a good question. Let's take it one step at a time. As Lucian mentioned, even with the integration, we want to make sure that the Meyer exchange is live. It's working as expected, secure, and everything is clear there before we integrate it into 100 other applications. The same with the hero tags. We want to make sure that first a product is live, and then we'll probably integrate the different features. So this is a good discussion, a good question. We'll probably see this in the new products once they're live and have passed the initial bootstrapping phase. So let's follow up on this as we make progress. Yeah, the next question. Did you want to touch on something?
I wanted to take two funny questions. One is for you. Why are you wearing your watch on the right hand? And I'll take one for me after that. You don't need to answer.
Yeah. Will not tell this other open secret.
There was a question why I'm so moody. I'm moody because I was reading when Beniamin was talking all the comments. I mean, not all the comments, part of the comments there were some funny comments there. Maybe that's why.
Yeah, and then two other questions. How big is the current Elrond team? At this point, we're probably around 80 people. Some people keep joining. But again, if there's one thing that everyone has pushed on, is the Meyer DEX launch. All the other teams, all the other projects, all the other products have had to align on this to make sure that things are ready. And it's been a hell of a ride. And now that we're getting close to the launch, it's still that we have 2-3 things that we want to test and push and so forth. But we're very, very, very excited to see all this effort coming from the entire Elrond team, and also from the Elrond community that has been tremendously helpful as well. Yeah, I think we've touched on most of the questions at this point. There have been some more questions, and we'll probably follow up on this as well. There have been a tremendous number of people that have gone through the process, wanting to be part of the Meyer Launchpad. There's already more than $75 million that has been put in the liquidity side of the DEX.
85.
85.
Refresh,
That's exceptional, and the rewards have not even started. So yeah, the summary or the end note would be that the next 1 or 2 months will absolutely be insane for the Launchpad, for the Meyer DEX, for the Elrond community. And we're not even touching on some of the other things that are in the works, that are coming, and that we're focusing on. So great to have you in the community. Be part of this experiments. Make sure that your friends are in. Make sure that people that are with the validators, for instance, that they know about the DEX, that they know about the Launchpad. And again, we're just starting out. The last November and December have been super interesting. And I think this November and December will be incomparably more interesting. So great time to be alive and push on all of these things.
Thank you guys very much.
Thank you, guys.
See you soon.
Talk soon.
Bye-bye.